What's going on, everybody? This is Marcus. Before I get started, I want to thank you guys so much for your support. It means everything to me, and I love you guys so much. For those who are new to my channel and for those who are seeing it for the first time, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications of whenever I drop a video, and we're gonna always keep this thing rolling. So, let's talk about Star Wars Kenobi Episode 6. Oh my gosh, it was emotional, fantastic, incredible, stupendous. Whatever word you want to box it in, that's exactly what Kenobi is. And as a lifelong Star Wars fan, this was definitely something that I was hoping for. And I was able to get home and watch the final episode, and seeing everyone else's reactions from the Real Rejects to Blind Wave, seeing those guys, they basically enjoyed it too, and I was at the edge of my seat. And so we're definitely going to do a review first. So first thing I want to do, I'm actually going to do a review for what I thought of Kenobi Episode 6, and then tomorrow I'm going to do an Easter egg breakdown as well, so be on the lookout for that. So, but right now I'm just going to recap and do a synopsis of Episode 6 and give my thoughts about this too, because like there's just so much to unpack, especially within the 50 minutes as well. And then we also get a special cameo by the end of the episode too, so it was actually pretty cool. But I will say this, it definitely sets up, especially with the original trilogy for Star Wars as well. So Kenobi definitely sets that up as well. So we basically get like a 10-year-old Leia, and Luke is around the same age as well. So Luke and Leia, they basically around the same age as 10 years old. So we pretty much get to see them as kids at that particular time. And so, but yeah, like I said, I'm just going to do a synopsis real quick and just tell you guys what my thoughts on Kenobi is. So, but basically the rebels were on the move and Vader was chasing them from Jabim. And so with Obi-Wan running out of time and the rebels were running out of time, he decided he was going to go back and face Vader for a rematch, and he wasn't for sure if either he or Vader were going to come out of this alive. And so he told Leia by hugging her, by just telling her goodbye, this might be the last time they get a chance to see them. And then of course she basically said that she was sorry and everything, and hoped that he would come back from his fight against Vader. And so basically that was pretty much it. We also go to Tatooine. So they're actually on Tatooine, and we actually see Owen and Beru. Now, Owen and Beru are the adoptive parents of Luke Skywalker. So they were the one that took Luke in on Tatooine. And they actually received a message from a friend who had been grilled by Reva that she's headed their way. So he was actually attacked by Reva. So Owen actually warns Luke to stay put and hide. And since the Tuskens were raiding the farms again, if anything goes wrong, all Luke had to do is just run for his life. So that's pretty much what he has to do. And so then we also go into the spaceship. It was actually Vader's ship. The Grand Inquisitor, which we all know survived his attack from Reva from Episode 1, of course, notes an escape craft leaving the transport with one person on board. But he also urges Vader to continue pursuing the rebels, since this is their chance to wipe them out entirely. However, Vader was mainly focusing on his rematch against Kenobi, and so he orders his ship to be prepared. And so as Obi-Wan braces for what he believes will be their final showdown, they will of course meet one more time, which of course in New Hope. So again, it goes back to the original trilogy where they will meet for the final time apparently in the New Hope. But he finds Lola in his pocket. Lola is actually the droid that Leia actually created, and it's pretty much like a pet droid. And so Leia must have hidden the droid that we're hugging from. So that was actually pretty clever for her as well. So, but anyway, following Obi-Wan's drop ship to a barren moon, which is actually where the fight takes place, on a barren moon. And oh my gosh, the fight scene there is just amazing. Just the choreograph, the lightsabers, just the way they're moving their swords. You can pretty much tell it was a rematch of the ages for sure, between former master and former teacher. So it was so cool. But Vader once again comes face to face with his former master. Obi-Wan wipes out, or he actually whips out his Bruce lightsaber, or it's the same thing. And this is actually was pretty interesting enough because this actually went back to Revenge of the Sith, because when they first fought, Anakin said that he was going to destroy Anakin said he was going to destroy Obi-Wan because he was his enemy. And then Obi-Wan actually replied, "I will do what I must." And he actually said the same thing in Kenobi. So that was actually foreshadowing too. So basically, Anakin, just before the battle on Mustafar at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he's just told him, "I will do what I must." So it's the same thing. And so Vader also responds, "Then you will die." And so they will clash again. And oh man, it's just epic. So, but take this. So, the entire fight scene, just incredible. So, but at the same time, Reva arrives at Owen's farm in the pursuit of Luke. Prepped and positions Owen and barrel fire blasters, which she also deflects. She also uses her neat braids, now loose and slightly disabled after her being unceremoniously dismissed by Vader. And so, pretty much at this point, Reva was unceremoniously denounced by Vader at this point. So she basically goes off to find Luke on her own. Luke takes off running, and then we also have back on the moon, Vader notes that Obi-Wan's strength has returned, but the weakness still remains. So as you can recall, back in episode 2 when they fought, he noticed that Kenobi's strength wasn't the same when they first fought on Mustafar. And so when they fought again, Kenobi's strength actually revived. And so it was actually pretty cool that he mentioned that. And so comparing to that and them being on the barren moon, big difference. And so the Sith Lord then uses the Force to bury Obi-Wan under some rocks he has hurled, saying, "Did you truly think that you could defeat me? You have failed, Master." But Vader didn't kill his former master with a cave-in. Rather, Obi-Wan uses the Force to stop the rocks from crushing him. And so while he was doing that, he was fueled by memories of both Luke and Leia. He repulses them up and away, then catches up with Vader, and their lightsaber battle continues. Well, the thing that I definitely caught is the fact that as he was holding those rocks, his memories of Luke and Leia came to his mind, but he was also hearing voices from their first confrontation back on Mustafar as well, when Anakin was telling him that he was his enemy and that he was no longer his master. So you can pretty much hear those as well. But it's definitely what fueled Obi-Wan to get back up and continue battling with Anakin again. And so Obi-Wan fights with everything he's got and eventually slices Vader's helmet open with his lightsaber. So this is where it actually gets pretty intriguing too. So the move actually weakens Vader, who gasps for air with half of his face exposed. So this side of his face was exposed, and you can see part of his helmet is still intact. And so basically, it was then that Kenobi sees his Padawan's face for the first time in years. This is the first time that Obi-Wan actually saw Anakin's face since their last confrontation on Mustafar. And you can tell Obi-Wan actually came with emotion, and he was teary-eyed and everything. And it broke my heart too, because his friend basically just went downward spiral, and basically through his deranged vocoder, which is the voice vocoder that Anakin actually speaks, we actually hear Hayden Christensen's voice being distorted along with James Earl Jones's voice, which is actually pretty cool because both of their voices are actually combined. And so he said that Anakin is gone, I am what remains. And then Obi-Wan tells him he's sorry for what happened in the past. And he said that he was sorry for all of it. And then Vader dismissed it, saying that I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. And so before vowing to destroy Obi-Wan in kind, this is what he said after that. So, but then Obi-Wan realizes that his friend is actually gone, truly gone. There was no point in saving him at this point, and so he actually tells Vader, goodbye, Darth, as he walks away. And then we also have Vader actually screaming. He said, "Obi-Wan!" So, yeah, that was practically it. Then he collapses to his knees, and then he was steadying himself against the rock. So, but then also, Obi-Wan, after his fight with Vader, Obi-Wan actually senses Luke in danger, and then he speaks after Luke in his dropship. So, back on Tatooine, Luke has fallen after being forced off a rocky dredge by Reva, and sits unconscious. And we know that Reva has definitely been vindictive ever since episode 1, especially when you look at her past with her being a youngling when she first confronted Vader when he was executing Order 66. So we basically see that. And so Reva approaches him to go in for the kill, sees herself at his age, and memories of Anakin slaughtering younglings. So when she was looking at Luke for the first time, put it this way, she couldn't go through with it because Luke reminded her when she was his age, because she was also a youngling herself. And so, with her lightsaber raised, she finds herself now in Anakin's position. Obi-Wan lands at Owen's farm and sees both Owen and Beru calling after Luke and prepares to search for him in the dunes. But Reva appears in the distance, returning with the unconscious boy in her arms. She reports to Obi-Wan that she couldn't off Vader's offspring, and as such, failed her dead friends. Obi-Wan doesn't see it like that. He actually insisted that she honored them and has given them peace. When Reva asks if she has become Darth Vader, Obi-Wan says no. She has chosen not to become the Sith Lord. As a matter of fact, this is actually her redemptive story, which is why I mentioned in my last video that I knew that they were going to at least redeem Reva from what she was from episode 1, from what we saw of her. So, yeah, she's very awesome too. And who she is now, it's up to her. It's her choice now what path she wants to go to. So, and we definitely want to commend all the actors and actresses doing an amazing job with their characters. So, and she's my favorite actress too, so I definitely like her as well. So Reva replaces her Inquisitor lightsaber in the sand. Obi-Wan declares them both free. On Mustafar, we also see that Vader speaks to Darth Sidious, Palpatine. I was like, oh my gosh, Palpatine's back. And so through a hologram, Sidious notes that Lord Vader seems agitated and wonders if his thoughts of his old master must have left him weakened. Vader insists that Kenobi now means nothing, and he only serves his new master. And guess what? They actually cued the Imperial March theme. Oh my gosh. When we first heard the Imperial March, I basically just marked out, I was like, yep, Darth Vader on his throne, sitting alone on his throne too. So it was just, so cool. So anyway, they also return to Alderaan. So we also see Alderaan, which is the home of Leia Organa and her parents, adopted parents, I should say. And then Leia dresses herself with one modification, with Tala's Hoister. Both Queen Belha and Bail Organa love the new look. Basically, she was trying on her new look and everything. But Leia is ready to become their leader. Now, we know that in the first episode, Layla wasn't ready to take on the responsibilities of what she was going to do in the future by leading her people. But now she is. Now she's getting ready to embrace her destiny, which, of course, is what she was in the prequels as well, played by Carrie Fisher, an older Layla. So, but all three are greeted by Obi-Wan. And so, basically, he offers his help to the Organas should they ever need him again. And so Layla actually asks Kenobi, will he ever see her again? He says that someday you will, but we want to make sure we keep it on the down low, basically keep it confided so no enemies won't notice that we're together. And so basically, in a touching scene, Kenobi actually was telling Layla about her parents briefly. Basically, he comes clean about her parents by saying, Princess Layla Organa, you are wise, discerning, kind-hearted. These are qualities that came from your mother. But then he tells her, but you're also passionate and fearless, forthright. These are gifts from your father. Both were exceptional people who bore an exceptional daughter. So basically, he was just telling her about Luke and Padme. He's telling her about Anakin and Padme, my bad. Luke's her brother. Yeah, Anakin and Padme is what I was trying to say. So yeah, basically he was telling Leia about her real parents, Anakin and Padme. And of course, you know, there was like an illegal deal with Padme marrying Anakin because she was only a few years older than him. But that was pretty much it, because it was explained in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith that Anakin and Padme's older than Anakin. So we pretty much understand that they were in an illegal marriage. So they pretty much got married in private though. So it was practically their intergalactic version of eloping. So, but anyway, Kenobi wishes he could divulge more, but Leia says that he doesn't have to. When asked if she ever see him again, tells her maybe if she needs help from a tired old man. It was what he said, which, he's not that old at all. So he's basically just, a veteran at this point. And so Leia hugs him goodbye, and Obi-Wan offers these familiar parting words, "May the Force be with you." So anyway, after he returned to Tatooine, Obi-Wan's wearing his old Jedi robe, so packing up to the cave. So we see him in the cave, packing everything up. He actually rides his Eope, which is kind of similar to a horse and a camel. So that's pretty much what that is. And there he was leaving the Larcy's farm. And then Obi was actually greeted by Owen to finally meet Luke. And so Obi-Wan was walking towards Luke. Luke was smiling. He says, "Hello there," to the boy. And so after that, Obi-Wan rides through the desert, and then he sees Liam Neeson. So, Liam Neeson actually comes back as Qui-Gon Jinn and his Force Ghost. And then it was actually pretty cool seeing Liam Neeson. So I was like, that's pretty awesome. So he was starting to think of his old master would never come. And then Qui-Gon Jinn says, "I was always here, Obi-Wan." And then he says, "You were just not ready to see." But now that Kenobi's ready, they have ways to go. And the episode actually ends right there. And man, it was just incredible. I definitely enjoyed it. There's been talks of season 2. I would love to see season 2, especially where they're going with this too. But all the actors have done an amazing job, especially with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. They all did a phenomenal job with their characters. And like I said, there's been talks of season 2 for Kenobi as well. And I would love to see that too. And everybody else would too. I'm chiming in. I'll even tweet or even actually send an Instagram message to Hayden and Ewan like, "Hey, let's do a season 2 already, guys." Like, everybody's ready for it. I believe people want to see this too, especially seeing all the comments on Twitter and social media that everybody wants to see it. So, but yeah, you know what? Throughout the whole episodes, they actually did a really great job of how they actually depicted Darth Vader, especially how dangerous he is, even with his armor. And I definitely mentioned this before too, as far as like just how impactful he was. Like, you basically see what he's like in the Clone Saga, but we actually see him in full form. And I have to commend Disney on this one too, that they actually did a really great job. So hopefully they keep this momentum up. And then, like I said, with Star Wars being what it is with its fan base, I think they're definitely going to continue this, and I think we'll definitely see a season 2 for sure. Now, I practically did debunk this, and it was already debunked before, but Darth Maul not showing up, he doesn't really need to. I mean, I kind of had a feeling that he wasn't, because the whole story is just basically about Obi-Wan reuniting with Anakin, but in dire circumstances, because now we see Anakin as full-fledged Darth Vader, embrace the Sith. The old is gone. He's now embracing his new identity, and Kenobi had to actually be able to accept the consequences. Not saying it was a fault of his own, but you can actually see it in his face, especially when he saw Anakin's face for the first time in years. Just how he overcame with emotion, with tears, because that was his former best friend, like a father figure and a mentor to Anakin. And he actually did make a promise to Qui-Gon Jinn that he was going to look after Anakin. And of course, that all went downhill from there. But Obi-Wan wasn't to blame at all, because Anakin was indeed reckless. And even though the Jedi didn't want to seem to train Anakin the way they wanted to, but they practically were in their own rights. They know they weren't going to train Anakin because of what he would become. That's why Yoda was saying that Anakin's future was clouded. Didn't know what he was going to do. And so, anyway, like I said, season 2 Kenobi will be awesome. I'm definitely for it. And like I said, I think Darth Maul, if he decides to come in season 2, that'll be awesome, because in the Clone Saga cartoon and in the comics, Darth Maul is alive. He actually survived his ordeal against Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace. And so even though he was severed, he was able to get his body back. So I think we'll probably see him. If they ever do a season 2, they'll probably see him. They probably will put him in there for sure. So that'll be pretty awesome. So, but like I said, the series was just basically about 2 old friends reuniting, but they're on different paths. Now they're mortal enemies, and that's pretty much it. One is still with the Force, while the other one's with the Sith. So, but yeah. But like I said, tomorrow, guys, I'm going to do an Easter egg breakdown, so be on the lookout for that. And we'll definitely talk more about this and everything. Like I said, I love Star Wars, seen all the movies. I'll even go back and rewatch all the movies and stream it and watch it with you guys and give my reactions and my intakes on it. So that's practically what I will do. But I hope you guys understand what I'm saying and my take on episode 6 of Kenobi with my knowledge of Star Wars as well. So, but yeah. But, oh, I want to show you guys this. 1 second. It's actually right here. The only reason why I know so much about this is because I have this book right here. Well, got this, so of course, this from a while back though, Second in Charles. Pretty awesome. This is how I know all my stuff. The Star Wars book. Everything you need to know to expand your knowledge of a galaxy far, far away. So, it's got a lot of good stuff in here. So, more than Jedi or Sith, so has like a lot of background information that you want to know, especially with dealing with just science and technology. And that's the only reasons why I love Star Wars anyways, because of the fact that it has so much lore in it, but on top of that, it also has just science and technology and galaxies and everything. And I love space movies anyway, and they're definitely my favorite, so this is definitely a nerd dream come true. So, but yeah, and as you can see, all the lore right here, everything from the original sequels to the prequels as well. So everything from A New Hope to The Phantom Menace, definitely worth the read, that's for sure. So it's pretty awesome. So I definitely recommend that for sure. But yeah, like I said, tomorrow, guys, be on the lookout for my Easter egg breakdown for episode 6 for the finale. I'm actually going to either do new Rockstars of Erik Voss or watch Mojo, because they got theirs uploaded too, so we'll be able to do that. But I love you guys. Thank you all so much, and continue to support me. This means a lot to me, guys. I love doing these reactions, and you guys always encourage me with your feedback and everything else, and I love you guys so much. So thank you for everything. Be on the lookout for tomorrow for episode 6 breakdown, so we'll definitely get ready for that. But in the meantime, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Continue to stay positive, make an impact in this world. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.